Yeah, so digital disruption is changing the way business are being done. Today, your competitors are no longer within your industry. It can come from anywhere. So it's important for every organization to have at least a simple digital strategy. Strategy is a big word, but at the end of the day, it's about how do you embrace technology and how do you make sense out of it in terms of creating value from this technology that you are adopting. So the point here is that first look at it from a perspective of how does it benefit you, what are the pain points or the opportunities you see within the digital, and map that to the requirement that you need for your industry. Yeah, so it's really important to look at both internal as well as external stakeholders. Internal means, is your organization ready? Are your people ready? Have you looked at the training requirements, the skill set that's required? External would be your customers as well as your suppliers. So in order for you to do this, there has to be an integrated strategy, and the strategy does not have to be really big or expensive. So from a digital adoption point of view, what industries or companies should do is first off to look at it from a pilot stage program, we call it, right? When I say pilot, it means that start small, right? Think big, start small, and act fast. So in order for you to do this, you need to look at it from, for example, a pilot strategy, which I've just mentioned just now, in terms of starting it small, bringing in all the stakeholders together. This is really important. With a pilot, you'll be able to create a real program that will produce an outcome-based results, and this is really crucial, right? So for example, if I can give you a manufacturing industry, you want to look at in terms of improving your productivity. So there are many things you can do on the shop floor. For example, you can look at improving the time of your quality control. How can you improve your quality control that you don't have to do it so many times and at the same time use less resources? In order for you to do this, you need to first pick one of the manufacturing line, bring in the stakeholders involved, and see how you can improve the QC, quality control. And you can do this from a particular project basis and have specific outcome. For example, if I do this, I'm going to reduce 50% of my dependency on labor, for example, and maybe I can cut down 50% of the requirements in terms of the number of QCs I have to do. Now that's your specific outcome that you want within, let's say, 6 months of the project. You bring in your stakeholders and you work on this. If you're able to achieve that, number one is you know you can scale because you have an outcome-based result. Number two is you have people, your stakeholders, who believe in what you do, and therefore they will be behind you to ensure that you can scale. So in terms of adopting technology, this is all about embracing disruptiveness, right? And we talk about the digital transformation that's happening. So across the industry, this is really required at the moment. And why I'm saying this is because the whole world is moving into the digital space, and therefore the way people do business have changed. And from an industry perspective, there are many requirements in terms of the readiness of the academia, in terms of the readiness of the talent, in terms of the experts who can support, as well as the service providers who can actually provide such services. So this is really important, and this has to be seen from industry to industry. Yes, so that's a very interesting question. The digital adoption does not have to be expensive. I think that's a very crucial point that every organization that's looking at digital adoption or Industry 4.0 need to put that in mind. Why we're saying this is because it's always seen as a non-ROI, right? So digital adoption is always seen as a non-ROI, meaning to say you spend a lot of money in terms of buying softwares or hardwares, and then you figure out where the ROI is. But the actual fact is that it's not a technology discussion, rather it's a business discussion. Meaning to say, what are you improving, or are you creating new value proposition in terms of adopting Industry 4.0 or digital? And this is a really crucial point. If you look at it from that perspective, it is not an expenditure, rather it's an investment. And this is a crucial point. When you have investment into your strategy, what you're looking at is a clear ROI that you need. So then the whole discussion becomes in terms of what is the ROI and when can you achieve it.